It's hard being yourself. There's a lot of expectations from just around you everywhere in the world. From like just like everything, even when you're like born, there's always just like an expectation, whether your parents or the school system or whoever, the media, of just who you should be. Everyone goes through this thing, men, women alike. There's always this standard that we place on humans. And honestly, I think it's genuine bullshit. I don't think we should do it at all. It's really toxic and it's just bad. Cause in my opinion, I think the best thing that you can do is be a unique individual, be a unique human being. I think that's the best thing ever. Like it's so cool to find somebody who's like genuinely unique and interesting. And those little quirks that people have make you so interesting in just the world. It makes you who you are. It makes you unique. And I don't like this idea of like having to make people fall in line to a structure that they may not want to have. It's like when you're born, first thing you do, right, when you go to school, it's like the number one thing they tell you. It's like, okay, well, like in order to be successful, you have to be like an academic of some sort, which is not true, by the way. But, they favor that all the time. Like it's like a number one thing. Like they always like try to make sure that that you're just competing nonstop and like trying to get the best grades and trying to compete with one another and like one up each other. And like you're never taught like why you're doing this. Is it even part of your identity? Is it even something that you want to do? It's just no, you have to do it. Fall in line. Like that's who you are. That's just an expectation that's imposed on you. And if you don't meet those expectations, you yourself feel like a loser. But you're not a loser. You tried something and it didn't work out for you, and you moved on. Some things just aren't for you. But if you're in school, if you do bad in it, a lot of the times you're seen as a loser. If you're a man or a boy, you're told, well, at least one time in your life, that you should be a man. You shouldn't have to have emotions. You shouldn't have to feel anything. You should be tough. And if you're a girl, you've probably had the opposite where they tell you not to be like that. And if you are like that, it's negative and boys or men won't like you. So it's really hard to be yourself. And I don't like this messaging. And I guess it's ironic because I'm essentially saying this too. We tell people all the time to just be themselves, but like, can you actually do that? Like, in any situation, can you truly be yourself? When you go to like work for a company or whatever, like, you're not bringing your authentic self. That's not who you are. The company has a strict line of code that you have to follow, and if you don't, they won't hire you. And even if they do hire you, if you act out of line that's not representative of the company, you get fired. And it's like every single facet of life is like this. And so you kind of have to like mold your identity with the surroundings that you're given. But how can you do that and be your truly yourself when everything around you is influencing how you should think? I just had a stroke there. I'm sorry. And like, I'm not trying to be like deep state or anything, like, oh man, they're forcing you to do this, like Alex Jones type conspiracy. But like, I think the thing that's like really, you know, annoying is just like, you truly can't be yourself. It's hard because everything around you is just a standard. And in order to fit in somewhere or whatever, like you have to kind of give up parts of yourself to fit in. And you can't just be whoever you want because then you won't line up with certain people and then you'll just fall out of line. And it's, again, like I did a video previously about like being a loner and how it's good, and this kind of ties into that, how being yourself is kind of a loner path. um but it sucks. Like I think the main thing that humans want is just ultimate freedom at the end of the day, to truly feel like you are not controlled by anything or anyone, just unlimited freedom to do whatever the fuck you want in this world and have no barriers, no limitations, nothing holding you back. It's a freeing feeling. And there's like so much programming in this world of just, Republican, Democrat, red pill, blue pill, like any side of the argument. I'm not trying to get political here, but like no matter what you do, it's just there's always somebody telling you how to act on any part of the spectrum, any part of the world. It's very annoying. And especially cuz like a lot of this stuff doesn't matter, right? Like sure we do things like shake hands and there's like certain gestures and cultures or whatever that's like, that's fine, whatever, big deal. But like other things where it's like, if you're not a person who's very quiet and obedient, you're a reckless person and you're annoying and you're not going to fit into this world and you're not going to be successful. Or, if you don't have like a corporate attitude when you come to work and you don't like show up with the positive mindset or whatever, or like you're not happy 24/7, you're not going to be successful and you're not going to fit into this world. And these are things that we tell people. Like we tell people like, oh man, you can't do anything with that skill set, or like being this kind of way is not good, it's not attractive, it's not healthy, or whatever. And I always like question that. I'm like, okay, well, who is it not attractive to? To you? Like, what's the standard? Because depending on who you ask, like, it's going to be different. And again, this ties back to the idea of like, everyone is just so individual. Everyone's so unique. Everyone has their own personalities and personas and interests. And we should all develop those things and make sure that like everyone is unique and has their own interests, so that everyone can just kind of have certain traits that they can latch onto and like bond with people and just, enjoy their life. But it's really hard to do that because no matter what you do, like again, like I truly cannot feel like you can be yourself, because there's always something that you have to fall in line with in order to get approval from someone. Like if, right, like the music industry, the business, like every industry, like music, film, tech, business, like certain people act a certain way. And if you don't fit in with that line of personality, then you'll be kind of outcasted, right? And these stereotypes form because of that, because the majority of people who are in that field or whatever act like that, or demographic, I would say, act like that. And it's a very limiting way to kind of view essentially humans. And I think that kind of makes people mad because they don't like standards. I don't like standards. Nobody does. It's not like an ununique thing to like be like, yeah, man, I don't like fitting in the crowds. I don't think anybody does. It sucks. It's fun to be like yourself, but it's hard to do that because in some way you have to fit in some kind of capacity. So I don't know, man, but whatever happens, just be yourself. I think that's what genuinely makes things so authentic and so real, and you can get a really cool connection with people is if you're just being yourself. And there's not much of that in this world right now. Like you just look at the state of content, and just even if you go outside or whenever you go to work, like there's always some kind of standard you have to fit in order to not be seen as crazy. And everybody wants friends, everybody wants money, everybody wants to survive, right? Like these are things that you need, so obviously you have no choice. But you know maybe if people one day at a time were just truly uh embracing themselves and just being who they want to be, I think eventually we'll get to a state of mind where everyone can just truly be themselves with no strings attached. That would be kind of cool. I'd like to live in a world like that. But yeah, this is me rambling. It's like 2:30 in the morning right now. I might be fucking sleep deprived. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but hopefully someone relates to this. I don't know. This is just kind of for fun. But yeah, that's it. Bye.